guys, my name is Alfredo Mancuso. For those of you guys that don't know and are new to this channel, I'm a professional BMX rider. I co-own and operate a clothing company called On Some Shit, a BMX website called The Come Up, a store in downtown LA called On Some Shit LA, a BMX mobile tour and ramp setup called The Rig, and I help in the operation process of No Jumper. A lot of brands that you guys are very familiar with and very fond of. For those of you guys that are returning to the channel, as you can see, I'm dressed a little bit differently. And I'm in my friend's recording studio. He's got a lot of cool records here and whatnot. Also, you'll notice that I'm wearing my DC Shoes ring. And if you haven't guessed from the title, today's vlog is going to be more of an informative or educational vlog, I guess you could say. So, let's get to it. A lot of you guys always ask, how do I become sponsored? How do I turn pro? How do I become successful? How do I do what you do? How do I create something, start a brand, whatever it is? And I've written a lot of notes on this subject, and I want to share them with you today. If you're familiar with our brands, you know that we're experiencing a lot of growth, and we're trying to basically take BMX to the mainstream. If you're new to this channel, then we've accomplished that, because now you're getting an insight of what it is to be a professional bike rider. Basically, you get to see what it's like from my perspective to run a brand, to manage athletes, to have a store, to have employees, to experience growth, to experience shrinkage, problems, robberies, you name it. In the last 6 months on this channel, we've grown a lot. And today, we're at the 50,000 subscriber mark, basically. Maybe a few hundred shy, but by the time you're watching this, I hope we're in the million range. Job blessed. As I was mentioning, I've written a lot of notes on the subject of how to become sponsored, how to become successful, and what I think, at least from my perspective, has gotten me to the position that I'm at in life right now. So, the thing that you guys want to know the most about. How to become a professional bike rider, what it means, what you get to do, what your requirements are, and that kind of stuff. So first and foremost, let me explain. Being a professional is amazing. There's so many people that look up to you just for basically having that title in front of your name. A professional basically means that you're being compensated for your work. So, you could be a professional plumber, you could be a professional pilot, you could be a professional medical care provider, a doctor, and you could be a professional on a bike. Who would have guessed it, right? All these years riding this little toy bike that people are like, oh, you're riding the little kids' bikes. And not to sound braggadocious, but imagine someone asking me like, oh, don't you have a job? Why do you ride these little kids' bikes? Well, I don't think in their head they could register that you can make millions of dollars by riding it, by being a professional, by being in the industry, by owning companies, whatever it is, it's possible. And one of the people that really cemented that and made it so that people like myself actually have a place like this, and it's actually, I would say, a few people, it's Dave Mira and Matt Hoffman. Both of those dudes have had beyond successful video games, careers that are amazing, and they're really great people that have done a lot for the sport and a lot for the people in it. And as you guys know, I go off on tangents a lot, so I'm going to try and remain focused for this one. So again, I'm going to be referencing my notes just so I have a frame of mind for you guys. I don't know if you guys can see this, but these are some of the brands that I represent, own, operate, whatever, plug. Anyways, going back to it. How to become sponsored? This question, again, just gets brought up so much. I've seen so many videos on people trying to cover it, and I can tell you, because of my experience, I've gone on every single level of it, and I'm on all aspects of it, because again, we own and operate the Come Up, which is the biggest and best BMX website. On that end, I get to see so many user submissions of amazing riders. But what is really going to stand out? Because at the end of the day, there are a lot of really talented guys out there, and they're not where they probably belong. And I'll tell you why. Number one, most important thing about just riding bikes, and if you want to make it a career or a profession or whatever, the number one rule is have fun. It's a kid's bike, guys. You're not supposed to put all this stress on it, because you know what happens? It's no longer fun. You're chasing this dream, and when you're doing that and you're putting all these like stressors in your life, it loses the magic and the mystique about it. Because the cool thing is, like, I want to ride and progress myself and become better, and who knows, maybe if I become good enough, I could get sponsored. Chances are, like anything, winning the lottery, getting hit by lightning, all these things, it's a numbers game. And if there's 7 billion people on Earth and you're one of 700 pro bike riders, and the chances of you becoming that one are very small. But I will say, the key to happiness is having a dream. The key to success is making your dream come true. And how do you do that? Well, Again, having fun. And why is this so important? Well, a brand is trying to sponsor you because they want you to, one way or another, sell a product for them. Whether it's a t-shirt, whether it's a grip, the whole bike, pads, underwear, whatever. If you're going to sell something, people want to be sold by someone that's personable, happy, contagious. As for myself, I've had a lot of people say in the past, like, oh man, I can do what Alf does, I can talk. But to be honest, not everyone is natural at it. And I've been blessed with the ability to communicate my thoughts pretty efficiently and effortlessly. Other people might not. They might have a speech impediment, they might be nervous to speak in public, they might not be able to talk to a camera like I do. But the thing about that is that if you are good at it, then imagine every single person you meet at a skate park, at a street ride, at a jam, or again, even on YouTube or Instagram or Twitter, whatever it is, Snapchat. You're reaching out to people and you're inspiring them. You're helping them become better. And if you're doing that, then a brand wants to affiliate itself with you. So, there you go. Number 1, be yourself, have fun, and be contagious. Most important, to be honest. Number 2, be personable. So what does that mean? When people get put on a team, their job is to basically inform a consumer about this brand. And if you're starting to get flow, and what flow means is that a brand is like, hey, this guy's pretty good. Let's try him out. Let's send him some merchandise and see if he puts it on, if he represents it well. You gotta look good in clothes. Look at vegan. And is he spreading the message? And how do you do that? I've seen in my day a lot of professionals or sponsored riders that receive product, do a good job showcasing it, but then are complete dicks to kids at the skate park. And that is so counterproductive to what you're supposed to be doing, because you're trying to inspire these kids to become better and ultimately purchase this product, ride a bike, whatever it is. And if you're showing them that this bike can handle all the abuse, that you're really talented, but then you're really mean to them, what does that do? Nothing. That kid is going to automatically associate that brand with you being an asshole. Not a good thing for sales. Coming from a business guy that actually does deal with sales and brands and stuff like that, that's a big no-no. So myself, when I'm looking for a new rider for OSS, the Come Up, rig, whatever it is that we're doing, number 1, I want to meet him and I want to get to know him and see if he's someone that genuinely deserves it, because it is a dream that we get to live our lives every day and do something that's so cool and inspirational to other people. But I feel that it's my duty to basically protect you guys, the industry, whatever it is, from people that are in it for the wrong reasons. Just making money, that's not cool. You can do anything just to make money. You can be successful at a billion different things. But this is a sport that's about having fun and being cool to each other and having a community. So if you're coming into my sport and you're trying to just profit without having the right reasoning behind it or investing in our sport, then it's my job as a gatekeeper to keep you out. So be cool, have fun, be personable. And if you're trying to make money off our industry, you better be investing a lot, because it's not going to be cheap for you and it's not going to be easy to get in. Ironically, DC Shoes dropped their whole BMX program in 2012. Not cool, guys, but at least they did something for 10, 15 years. They did sponsor Dave Mirra, Chris Doyle, Colin Winkleman, Edwin De La Rosa. A lot of really iconic legends. Even though they are out now, they did pay their dues for a while at least. But more on that later. Okay, so now we've covered have fun, be personable. That kind of goes into charisma. Now, as counterintuitive as it sounds, the third on the totem pole is ride like there's no tomorrow. I can't stress the talent that is out on the world right now. Like anything, life is about progression and getting better and building on what your predecessors have done. So you can imagine that the guys that came before my time set a pretty high benchmark. The guys in my era raised that bar. And the kids that are doing it now are taking it to another stratosphere. So in order to be really good and, basically stir things up and make a name for yourself and make an impact, you have to be amazing, basically. And how do you do that? Stay on your bike. Ride your bike every day. When I was 16, 17 or whatever, I was riding literally anywhere from like 8 to 12 hours a day. So that's like a full-time job, right? But when you're having fun, it doesn't feel like a job. You're just doing what you're passionate about, right? Guess what? If you're doing that every single day, there's no way you're not going to progress. Even if you're not the most talented bike rider. Like, I never considered myself the greatest at anything in BMX, or actually even anything in life. My motto is jack of all trades, master of none. I've always been diversified, like I'm always doing something while doing another thing, while doing this and that. So maybe I might not be as good as so-and-so, but I might be more personable, or I might be more marketable, or I might be out there more. Whatever it is, you have to always kind of look for your place and your edge. And once you figure out your edge, you need to really capitalize that and hone in on whatever it is that separates you and blow it up. So, for myself, again, I rode every single day as much as I could, and I came from a background of sports. So I was playing soccer, football, basketball, all these different sports. There's a rule of 10,000 out there. I can't think of the author right now off the top of my head, maybe I'll look it up later, but basically, you have to do something 10,000 times before you get great at it. I've probably done well over 10,000 bar spins. I've been a professional since I was 17, so we're looking at like a 13-year career at this point. And in order to be able to do that, you have to stay on your bike. Again, the more you're on your bike, the more it feels like an extension of your body. And you're out there doing whatever is fun to you, whether it's trails, flatland, racing, street, park, vert, mega ramp, whatever is fun to you. If you really are out there every day having fun and just riding and just going hard, you're gonna be good. You're gonna get better. You're gonna excel, and you're gonna get noticed. And that's what being sponsored is about, bringing awareness to you and to the brands that are now trying to represent you. This is something that I don't think a lot of people touch on, but another really important aspect are your friends, your crew, your homies, whatever you want to call it. Think Deadline, On Some Shit, The Common Crew. All these crews are about dudes going out with their friends and filming amazing stuff. Because why? It's fun, you're pushing yourself, and it's rewarding to you guys to go out and film something and like watch it later with your friends and going through it where it's like, we were so nervous for you, and all of a sudden like you went down the handrail perfect first try, and we're like, oh, he did it. And you could feel all this fire come out of someone when it's like, oh my god, he pulled a trick, and everyone's like cheering for you. It's the best feeling ever. Same thing when you put together a really amazing contest run, riding trails, and you're putting together like this line that you've never done before. All this stuff just like reverberates between you and your friends and all these cool vibes. So you start progressing more, you start making a name for you and for your crew. So like there's a lot of new and up and coming crews that are doing it, and that's awesome. And I think BMX needs more of that. Now, when you do have a crew, the important part is basically kind of helping everybody along the way. So there's going to be someone in the crew that's not the best bike rider, but all of a sudden he's like, hey, I could become the filmer. Hey, I could become the guy that kind of like leads this. I could be the driver, the most talented one. I could be the one that's good at everything. And, that's awesome. Like because it pushes you guys all, and then it starts creating kind of like an entity where it's almost like a little micro company. Going back to the points, if you have a crew, you're going to get noticed because it's more of you guys. And it stops being something that people think that it's very self-indulging. Because if you're one person and you're really trying to get out there, you're basically having to promote yourself and talk about yourself, or put yourself in this position where other people are going to talk about you. So it seems like you're like into yourself. But I mean, to be honest, it's just you trying to get out there and be successful. So if people hate on you, whatever. You're trying to do you. At the end of the day, there's only one person that you should really care about making happy, and that's yourself. Do things that are going to enrich your life. Everyone else around you, they're either going to support it or they're going to move on. Another really important thing about getting sponsored or being successful is just your willpower, and just you sitting down and figuring out what it's going to take for you to reach these goals. Maybe write it down somewhere at home on a chalkboard, on a white erase board, a piece of paper, whatever it is, and just write your goal. Whether it's turn pro, get sponsored, make a full video part, whatever it is that your goal is, write it down. Look at it, stare at it. Make it so that it's something that you're so focused on that you can't see anything else. And if you do that, you're going to find a slew of things that you can add to this list that are going to help get you there. So, again, you want to be sponsored, you make the list. So now it's like, what do I have to do? Well, first and foremost, you have to be pretty good on a bike. You don't have to be the best, but you have to either be very creative, very talented, go really high, jump really far. You don't want something that's going to capture people's attention, right? So, look at Tate Ross Kelly. He does really creative, cool things. Look at Stevie. He does really crazy, big, burly things. And you could think of so many riders that basically fit into these brackets. Well, pick one that you think you're most comfortable with and start emulating what you think got him there. So if you're Stevie and you're trucking down the biggest stair sets, you're going to have to A, learn truck drivers, B, start putting them in everything. So downstairs, upstairs, off of ramps. Obviously, you have to be able to do them on anything. So if that's what you want to do, focus on that. Alright guys, that video got a little too long, so I'm going to cut it short. There's going to be a follow-up to this video that's going to give you guys even more advice, but I just wanted this video to be a little more concise. So that's going to do it for today. If you guys enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, and if you'd like, even share the video. I really appreciate all of you guys for taking the time to watch this, and I hope it really helps. As always, thanks so much for watching, and have a great one. Peace.
It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it.